We are Borg. We will add your technological distinctiveness to our own. We control everything you do. We will make you click the like button, click the subscribe button, and ring that notification bell. Resistance is futile.
Oh, I didn't have my mic on, did I? I had to push different buttons today. So guess what? For the first
Poopy
time...
sticks, neither did I.
Hey! I'll say it now. It's Wednesday. It's 8 o'clock. It's the TNG review show. Yay!
Yay!
It's the Borg put me off. The Borg put me off. I don't know what happened there to our intro, but I think we got overtaken by the Borg there briefly. But
you were gotten by the glitches.
we were gotten by the Borg glitches. Yes.
I am useless of Borg.
You are useless. Yeah. Well, hello, G-Star. How are you doing?
Grand, thank you.
We haven't seen you in a little while.
No, I've been hiding in the woods.
You have been hiding. And that's a little bit of a plug, isn't it, really?
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, it might be. No, I'm joking.
Sean's...
Go on, then.
Oh, sorry. Yes, just at 6:30 this evening, the very first special done from the Vault for G-Star Vault just came up live. Well, not live, but came up on YouTube. So, and it's over an hour long. So, first ever special and first ever special on location as well.
Is it live?
No, it's not live. Sorry.
I'd say it's not out yet, is it?
I meant it's like sort of live up on YouTube. You can go and watch it now because I uploaded it over a day ago.
But is it though? Is it live now? Is it?
No, no, it's not live. I didn't set it to live.
But
Everything on the channel when you go live has a little live symbol next to it. FYI.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It's showing
It's
that your
uploaded,
channel's
but
live.
it's not available to watch.
No, it is uploaded. It's available to watch from 6:30
Well, that's what
this
Monty
evening.
Brown's asking you when he's saying, "Is it live?"
It is live. Sorry. I
Yes.
looked at it earlier and it didn't look live, but it's because my thing hadn't refreshed. But yes, no, it is live. Sorry, yes.
We get
Sorry.
there in the end.
You get there in the end.
We got a bit confused there.
Sorry, I thought it was uploaded but not live yet. It looks scheduled for later, but I see it is live now. Oh well, fingers crossed. If you want to watch it, please go and watch it. Let us know what you think. It's G-Star's
Best of the best.
your best of your best. This is your opus magnus, isn't it? This is your your work of art. That's what it is.
So far, it's some of the best sort of footage that I found that's in a montage to start off with. But as I joke in the description to the video, I haven't used everything because I've got to save back some for the future.
Right.
but yeah, it's best of the best montage, and then there's lots of other content in it as well. So to get back at something that you came up with a while back, where you were questioning some of my measurements on some footage that I did on a short. I've kind of done a live reenactment of it to try and prove my measurements, etc., and things like that.
Interesting.
And then I came across some strange things in the forest. I had my own strange encounter, which I share on camera as well.
Very
So,
cool. Very
lots
cool.
of different stuff on location.
Yeah. Sean in chat's already putting Pogo into my head. Thanks, Sean.
I love that comment.
I'm still I've now got Pogo playing through my mind, so yeah, thanks for that. Hey Mickey, hi Vlad, hi Stu Plum, Smiler Rainbow, my ever suffering wrench, good evening to you all. Yes, and good evening Maz, I haven't said hello to you Maz, have I yet? So
hi Maz,
how are you this evening?
I'm lovely, thank you.
You're always lovely. Yes. Is that blood wine you got there, G? What's that?
Yeah. In a Hufflepuff.
In a
Nice.
Hufflepuff goblet.
Yeah, because my house is Hufflepuff.
Ludacris would be very, very impressed.
It was a special gift from my fiance.
Very nice indeed. Very nice.
It's very cool.
If I sniff or cough this evening, I do apologise. I'm feeling a little under the weather today. So, what a day to have to go through 2 episodes in once. But yes, we're here for the end of season. I'm very excited. The script is a large one tonight. I have my blood wine here. This is going to get me through my cough this evening. So.
I can contest to everyone that it is a very long script, because Monty sent it to me and I printed it out and I was like, what is the printer doing? And then it ran out of paper. And then I was like, what is going on? Why are all these sheets of paper coming out? It was like each week you write a book.
I do, yeah, unfortunately. Yeah.
It was the same with my research. I mean, my initial compilation of information was 31 pages.
That's
It took
insane.
me like 3.5 hours yesterday to go through all of. Cut it down to 13, but I won't be able to get through all of the content. I don't think it's cray.
But with 2 episodes comes 2 quizzes. So we have a quiz for each episode tonight. So a total of 12 questions, 2 chances to win. So that's quite exciting. We've also got to start off with some admin and catch up with G-Star's scores for the last couple of episodes. Let me just get the sheet up. Where are we? So we can then round out this season. So to start off with, G, what was your score for Menage a Troy?
Okay, Menage a Troy.
It feels like the Eurovision all over again.
The suspense. Sorry, I will get there in the end. It's being a bit of a difficult paddle. Okay, here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
6.
676.
676.
There.
Yep.
I haven't looked at your scores.
That puts it.
What's next?
Transfiguration.
Transfigurations. Yep. Oh, what's he going to give it?
It's not a 6. So
It's
that's
not a
interesting.
6. Yeah. So it's not going to be consistent with ours.
It's a 8.
An 8.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Yeah. So that has put. Well, both of those, to be fair, are middling episodes, I suppose.
Yeah.
Transfiguration's slightly higher than middle. But I think that's pretty fair where they are, really. So yeah, nothing controversial there. We were wondering if you were going to go for like something ultra low for Menage a Troy or something
No,
like that.
I mean, I couldn't repeatedly watch Menage a Troy. There's some nice bits in it, and generally I actually do like the character of Luxana, and I do think there's really some funny bits in it with the Ferengi that kidnaps them. and her earlobe massages. But ultimately, yeah, Transfigurations to me is one of those episodes that I think that's TNG, and I could quite easily watch that over and over and over again.
Cool.
So I think it deserves an A.
Nice. Thank you for that, G. Here are our quiz scores. So Stuplum's already won the season, but it's all to play for the silver and bronze places. We've got Mickey and Karen on 5 apiece and Andrew on 4. So if Andrew wins tonight, if he's playing, we could have a joint second place, and Maz, you could be our third place person. But who knows? Who knows? We'll have to see what happens this evening.
I might ping Andrew, as I don't think he's on, just as a little reminder.
A little reminder. I haven't seen Karen yet either.
Oh, no.
Welcome to the season finale, everybody.
Welcome to the season finale. If you hadn't watched the intro, go back at some point and watch the intro, because it was pretty cool. But yeah, should we get on with it then? Because we've got a lot to get through.
Yeah, let's
smash it.
Let's smash it out of the park. And we're starting with The Best of Both Worlds, Part 1. It's the 26th and final episode of Season 3, production number 40273-174. It first aired on the 18th of June, 1990, and was the 73rd episode to be produced and released. It's written by Michael Piller, who we've talked about a lot before, a prolific Star Trek writer. It's the 5th episode he's written for TNG of the 40 done, the last one being Yesterday's Enterprise. And directed by Cliff Bowl, who again, we've talked about a lot in the past. And this is his 10th episode he's directed of 25 in TNG, the last one being Hollow Pursuits.
I do like a good bit of Michael Piller.
I love a good bit of Michael Piller, and it's that Michael Piller Cliff Bowl combo. I mean, you've got the writer of Yesterday's Enterprise and the director of Hollow Pursuits, and you end up with a best of both worlds. Yeah.
And am I right in thinking that Michael Piller, towards the end of the TNG run, came very much more forward and was a big instrumental part in Deep Space Nine?
Yes, he was. Yeah. He was indeed. Right, who wants to see? I think, did we play this last week? I can't remember. I think I might have forgotten to play the trailer at the end of last week.
No, you did play the trailer.
Did we play the trailer? Yeah. I couldn't remember when I played this earlier. I was like, did we play this?
I'm pretty sure you did.
Oh, what are you doing?
Well, let's go.
They're the most powerful force in the universe.
Shush. I haven't done it yet. Silly Chrome.
I saw something flash up. It had like a big Star Trek symbol on it, like a Federation UFP symbol or something.
Yeah, hang on a minute. Where is it? I've lost it.
I really like the way that my cut matches my uniform as well.
It's very good.
It's like my Star Trek
all yellow
insignia matches my wizard in the house.
You just have to coordinate with your accessories. You couldn't help yourself other than that.
Right, are we ready for the trailer?
Whenever you are.
Here it is.
They're the most powerful force in the universe. Now the Borg have the most destructive plan ever to conquer the human race.
You have committed acts of aggression against the United Federation of Planets.
Target 1, the Enterprise.
Directed, denied.
Geordi, evacuate engineering. Target 2, Captain Picard.
Your culture will adapt to service hours.
I love the quality of these trailers.
Final target.
Earth.
On the next exciting episode of Star Trek, The Next Generation.
Star Trek.
Star Trek.
So funny. I love his voice. I don't remember seeing that last time.
No.
Target 1. Target 2.
Yeah.
When I do the promo videos for the Monty Zone, and I do the whole live. That's where I got it from. I just think how he would say it. It's
Next Generation.
Live discussions, live investigation.
Love it.
Sean in the chat still there singing Pogo to himself. Right. So that was your trailer, and we got the first picture. I will be using Memory of for tonight, but the pictures are hit and miss, so we might be swapping in out to other places, and who knows what we'll be looking at, but we'll start off with that. So there we go. Best of both worlds.
Ready to transport.
The teaser. All right, the Enterprise has arrived at Duret 4 in response to a distress signal from one of the Federation's outermost colonies. The away team of Worf, Geordi, Data and Riker beam down to the surface. They have not had contact from the colony for over 12 hours. Rot-row. That does not look a good sign, does it? When they arrive on...
It's a very good painting.
It is.
Yeah. For any I'm not going to make a... For any Fortnite players out there, it's Chapter 1, Dusty Depot vibes. Anyone?
Yeah.
Anyone?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Are you with me on
I'm
that
sure.
one? You imagine standing on the wreckage of Dusty Depot here and looking out across?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they used that picture at the end of Dusk Till Dawn, where it shows you the back of the bar where all the lorries and people that have stopped off there crashed, and they just put that on. It looks so similar if you imagine putting the bar on the corner where they stood.
Quite possibly. I mean, they do use... Paramount Pictures do reuse their matte paintings. We've seen that before from like matte paintings that have been used
If
in...
anybody has watched that film and can remember the very end scenes, but that's what
I do know the scene you're talking about. Yeah. Anyway, when they arrive on the planet, Riker is initially confused because there's nothing around, and then they realize that the entire colony has been completely destroyed.
It is a
Question.
bit...
Sorry.
Go on, Matt.
I was going to say it is a bit confusing, though, because they say they put them down in the middle of town, and yet they're just surrounded by rocks and bushes. So surely the middle of town would have been the middle of the crater, and surely if where they were was the middle of town, there would have been like some destroyed buildings around them.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it?
Anyway.
Because it's just bushes and things.
Yeah,
It's like we put you down in the
clearly
middle of
not
town.
the center of the town square.
No. No.
Anyway, carry on. Question time.
Question time.
Ooh, it is.
This one is going to be worth 50 TNG points.
Ooh,
Just
50. Wow.
50.
He's changing it up
50.
tonight.
Does that sound like a lot? Well, it is the finale.
It's a
so,
finale,
you've got to
so
ramp it up. You've got
let's-
to elevate it a
let's
little
go
bit,
mad.
for goodness sakes. Right, let's go. We have seen wholesale destruction of colonies before. But what episode was it in? Was it A, Q Who? B, Dude, Where's My Colony? C, The Neutral Zone? D, Contagion? Or E, One of Our Colonies is Missing? We have seen
You
wholesale
know, only two of those
destruction-
are episode names, right?
No, three
Three of them.
Oh, are they? Oh, right.
Yeah, Dude, Where's My Colony is like one of my faves.
Right. Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah. So, just the question again, just to help Smiler and those of you out there eager to answer. We have seen wholesale destruction of colonies before, but what episode was it in? Q Who? Dude, Where's My Colony? The Neutral Zone? Contagion? And my second favorite, One of Our Colonies is Missing.
Not one of your dinosaurs is missing.
I didn't even notice there were 5 answers. I thought there were only 4, which is why. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, once again, it's the end of the season, so we've gone for 5 options of 5 in each question tonight to give you more choice.
Making it that bit more difficult.
So yes, A, B, C, D, or E. Answers on a postcard.
Or in chat.
Or in
whichever you
chat.
fancy.
But that question time does mark the end of the teaser. So do we have any goofs,
Tick.
trivia?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, there's a load of rating stuff. I don't even know where to start.
She said she doesn't know. Last night she was messaging us saying that she was up to midnight trying to get it down to 13 pages.
There's just so much of it. I mean, let's just blast a load of ranking. No, we'll do that at the end. I'll just pepper you with comments as and when I find them. Oh, maybe a little bit about Michael Piller, as you talked about him.
Okay,
So he wrote this. I don't know if you know this, but he was originally just hired for the one season. And he didn't know if he was going to be writing the next season or even in it or not, and wrote this, and literally didn't know how anybody else. You know, he made it what he thought was like an impossible situation, and so yeah, he just left it on a cliffhanger and had no idea. But it was so popular, they obviously wanted him to come back and finish it off. And then he was like, I've made myself this impossible situation. How am I going to write myself out of this? So I think that's quite fun. And there were some parallels. I know we haven't got onto this in the story yet, but with Riker later with his "Shall I continue?" It was almost like mirroring his own. Do I stay with this? Do I leave this series, like in this cast and crew that I've come to really like? So it's nice how his writing was paralleling what was going on in his own life as well.
Is Picard gonna leave, and is Riker gonna leave, and it's got those questions hanging over it, hasn't it? This episode
certainly did.
So whilst we've got some answers coming in, I'm just going to carry on with Act 1 for a bit. Admiral Hanson and Lieutenant Commander Shelby of Starfleet Tactical have arrived to review the disappearance of the New Providence colony. No signs remain of the 900 inhabitants. Picture. There they are. Interesting, I can't remember his name, but the guy playing Admiral Hanson has been in
Dallas or something.
He's been in Star Trek before.
He has.
This is the second character he's played in Star Trek.
George Murdock is his name.
George Murdock. And I did not know this until I looked it up. But he was God in Star Trek V. Who wanted Kirk's ship to leave the planet Shakari. He was God. So that guy's God.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Gone from God to Admiral. It's kind of a demotion, I guess.
Yeah, not many people get to Admiral after being demoted, do they? But he was demoted from God. He was also, though, I recognise him because he was the Doctor in the 1970s Battlestar Galactica. So he was like the Dr. McCoy-like character in Battlestar Galactica. So, not new to sci-fi. He's been in a load of sci-fi things, but that was his 2 appearances in Star Trek, I believe.
To my knowledge, also.
Yes.
There was a.
I have no knowledge, so I'll just agree with you.
Cool.
There wasn't. You can't quite see it here, but almost around this scene, probably a couple of seconds later, down by Riker's knee somewhere, the shadow of a big boom mic comes in and sort of wobbles about a bit and then just gets yoinked as they walk out the door. So yeah, a little bit of a crew and equipment visible kind of goof there.
I did not notice that one. Yeah, so before we go into what they're talking about in the ready room there, have we got all the answers in for the first questions?
Yeah, it's difficult to know who is playing and who's here because we haven't got a couple of people, but
we haven't got Karen
we do
or
have
Andrew.
1, 2, 3, 4 answers.
Yeah, and I wrote my answer down before I read the question so that
You can't play.
I'm not cheating. No, I'm joking.
You're doing the
I
questions.
thought you were actually going to play then.
Okay, so here we go. Answers. Going straight off the starting line and going to warp 2 with 50 TNG points is the following. Personnel. Mazza. Stuplum. Sean. But but not
Nice.
Mickey.
Not
Sorry,
Mickey.
Mickey. You're still on the
Sorry,
starting line,
Mickey.
stuck at impulse power.
He meant to write C and accidentally finished off the rest of the word contagion.
So the answer
I like
was the
it.
neutral zone.
Yeah.
Do you know, I thought people were going to go for Q because effectively this episode is the continuation from that, where by they're exposed to the Borg and, they say they'll, I think it's at the end, is it? Guinan says they'll be coming or something. So, yeah, I thought people were going to fall for that trap. But
That was the trap I thought people would fall into, but they avoided it. They avoided that one.
Very clever.
Mickey's saying it's autocorrect.
It's all correct in his C.
I actually had C, and then it just finished contagion. Okay.
Brilliant.
And Sean observes the...
I can think of something else, a word that it might have formed that starts with a C that's shorter.
Funny. Sean was saying with Admiral Hansen, they've they sort of reused the surname for the Hansons. There's also at some point, I think like an Admiral Shelby mentioned, but I don't know if it's just a different admiral, not in this episode, but later on in Deep Space Nine. But it's not clear whether it's actually this Shelby character or whether it's just another admiral of the same name.
Okay. So we say these guys are from Starfleet Tactical. They report that Starfleet is unprepared for a potential Borg incursion, despite having known for over a year that they are coming. Hansen mentions that Shelby is their Borg expert and will lead the investigation. He has learned to give her a long leash as she gets things done. Shelby, for her part, wants to see the colony straight away, but Riker tells her that it's getting dark, so we'll have to wait till dawn. Riker, before taking Shelby to her quarters, invites Hansen to this night's poker night, but the Admiral is busy, so recommends Shelby, as she's rumoured to be a good poker player herself. Now, with just Hansen and Picard in the ready room, Hansen recommends Shelby be Picard's new first officer, and he gets a bit creepy about it, talking about her being an old man's fantasy, which is a bit creeps. Picard calls him JB, which made me think, if the people that wrote Picard just watched this episode as the reference episode for Picard, maybe that's where they got JL from. Because the characters in that always call him like JL. And I was like, why do they do that? But then, if this is all you've ever seen of Star Trek, you might think that's normal, because he calls him JB. But anyway, who knows? Who knows?
Where's the B come from?
Yeah.
JB.
Where does the...
I have no idea. Well, that's what he calls him.
Yeah.
Are you saying JD as in D for Delta, or JB as
I think
in
he said
D for...
JB, but I don't know. It might. I mean, what's he called? Admiral Hansen.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be JH, wouldn't it? I don't know where the B comes from.
Oh, I thought you were saying he
it's
was calling Picard
Picard.
JB.
No, Picard calls him JB.
Oh, right, okay. Don't know.
Maybe his name's Jack Dwayne Hansen.
Maybe he's
See if I can find anywhere in my notes what his name is.
John Balls Hansen. Who knows? Don't know.
I don't think so.
Anyway, it's question time.
It's it. Yes, it is. You're really correct. It's question time.
JP Hansen.
JP. Oh, sorry,
JP.
JP, not JB. Okay.
And
I'll
this
amend my script.
question
JP.
is to speed up to warp 3 and earns you 75 TNG points. Okay, 75 TNG points. Wow. Okay, the question is, Hansen is promoting Shelby because Riker has been offered the command of what starship? A, USS Melbourne. B, USS Melrose. C, USS Melton. D, USS Malacca. Or E, USS Melanoma. Or F, none of the above.
Oh, why did you put the F in? It's not. There's no F there. You can't put an F. The
See,
question's
It is
still.
an F. I just read F.
He's making answers up now.
At least we know F isn't correct. Then.
Well, I said they've all got 5
Awarded.
answers, not 6. Anyway,
Sean says Starfleet Tactical was where Rogue Karen went.
I think
Canon,
that
her
was
instructor.
an autocorrect there. I think.
I know it's Rolaren. In Beta Canon, her instructor that got her to think about defecting was Chakotay.
Ah,
Interesting.
interesting. Oh, to the
Starfleet Tactical, where these guys
Yeah,
work.
to the it begins with
Oh,
an M.
the
defecting to the Marquis.
yeah.
Marquis.
That's it.
Yes, the Marquis. Yes. Okay. So whilst we've got some answers coming in for that one, I'll carry on. Picard's surprised as Riker's not told him about the offer of a command, but he thinks he'll make a fine captain. Hansen mentions that this is the 3rd time Riker has been offered the captain's chair, but just not an official question. He says he's been offered the captain's chair twice before, but when were those offers made? Do you know?
No.
You know what they are? Well, he was offered the USS Drake when he was
Yes.
in his previous ship. And that was mentioned in the episode Arsenal of Freedom. And he was also offered the USS Ares,
Wasn't that in the conspiracy one?
the
No.
Icarus Factor,
Oh, right.
with his dad,
Shows how much I know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
when his dad came on board.
Yes.
The Ares was like a deep space exploration, small deep space exploration vessel. And he was offered that one, and he turned that one down as well. Hansen thinks Riker's hurting his career by staying on the Enterprise, so tells Picard to give him a kick up the butt. On entering her quarters, Shelby tells Riker they found magnetic resonance traces on the Enterprise hull that was damaged by the Borg weapons. She hopes to use that as a footprint and analyze the planet below for the same signature. She tells him she has assigned LaForge and Data to the away team. Riker takes exception to this and says, I've already assigned them to the away team. And he feels the need to go himself as well. She says she intends to replace him when he leaves the Enterprise. And he tells her if he plans to leave, she will be the first to know. So, have we got all our answers in yet? Probably.
We've got an A from Mazza. We've got an A from Stu Plum, an A from Mickey, who was he put his A in before I even finished saying the options. And Sean, we have an A as well. So everybody's an A. I'm an A as well, I think. Although it doesn't really sound that believable to me. I think melanoma should have been the right answer. But it is Melbourne. So that's 75 points all round. And everybody is now at warp 3. Well done.
Yay!
Well done, everyone. I wasn't expecting everybody to get that one right. Well done.
I didn't mention this earlier, but you know when they beamed down at the beginning and then they found like everything was devastated? Like surely their scans and their shit, like they didn't have to beam down and see it with their eyeballs. They would have known that before, right? They've been able
Well,
to scan planets before and see that everything's gone.
that's right. I mean, we looked down at that old couple's house.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, no, they have to be 5 feet away from it to be able to see it.
I guess she's got to scan the rocks with her little hand scanner to find the footprints. So,
Well, yeah, they could have investigated that afterwards. Like, oh, something's reached out and scooped it off the face of the planet. Let's go investigate. Anyway, just seems a little bit unbelievable.
and still,
this
still not
gonna
really
say
in
that-
keeping with the Borg. The Borg way, is it? Really scooping buildings off of planets. Not really the Borg thing. But anyway, Maz, what are you gonna say?
Sean's being vaguely rude.
Is he?
He's saying, here's to all hitting warp 10, then we can all turn into lizards and have a go off Janeway.
Oh yeah. That was Paris, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was Paris that turned into a lizard, and they had
Babies.
baby lizards. So he went faster than Transwarp or whatever it was.
Yeah.
No, the more you know, the less you know. Right. So later that evening, playing poker, everyone believes Riker has a straight flush except Shelby, who calls him on it. Turns out Riker was bluffing all along, much to the disappointment of Wes, who folded with a winning hand. In the morning, Riker and Geordi turn up in the transporter room to beam down, but they find Shelby and Data are late. O'Brien, though, tells them they beamed down an hour ago. So they beam down after them, and Shelby's like, the early bird gets the worm. And Riker's like, walk with me, Commander. He chews her out for taking risks and changing his orders without notifying him. But she tries to cheer him up by telling him she's found the footprint. The damage was done by the Borg. And that's the end of Act 1. Dun, 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 dun.
Act 2.
Yeah, any other goofs, trivias, missing things?
A whole bunch of stuff. The actress who plays Shelby really struggled with the technobabble. She said, she's supposed to be so authoritative in this role, but she felt like she was basically being asked to speak another language, and so because she found it such a difficult script, it really sort of hindered her acting ability.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That before.
And then with the poker game, technically, there's no way she would have called if she had two pair, and she already knew somebody else had three of a kind. So it was just a bit of a that wouldn't have happened in real life. Oh, and also Data acts like he's not heard the term early bird, but it was actually said in Arsenal of Freedom.
Ah, yes. He's heard that before.
He has.
And he claims to have a positronic
yeah,
brain.
he clearly forgot.
Yeah. Must have been from that episode where his memory got wiped.
Yeah. Let's go with that.
Sean says when the Borg took a slice out of the Enterprise, it's the only time you've ever seen a toilet in Star Trek.
Yeah.
from the slice in the model.
That's
Is that
funny.
Is that right? Have we never seen it? I mean, I know we
Not
don't.
to my knowledge.
We see.
I thought
We
no,
see
hold on a
sonic
minute.
showers.
There was a toilet in Naked Now
Oh,
yes,
that's
there was.
true. Yeah,
There
they
was.
fall out of
because
like
they
a
found
frozen...
somebody in the toilet.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, good point.
Some say the series Picard is just one giant toilet, but no, I'm not going there.
Sean says maybe she had a Del Boy 2 pair, which is a pair of aces and another pair of aces.
Have you watched it all now?
Yes.
I think it went part way to redeeming some of itself in the last episode, which I really did enjoy.
So on with Act 2. That's awful.
It's okay. Some of us have taste, some of us don't.
Yeah,
It's nothing to worry about.
That's true. That is true. I put my hand up and go, I have no taste. It's fine. Act 2. Hansen returned to Starbase 43993. Is that right? To make arrangements with Starfleet Command. That can't be right. I've typed the
No,
wrong
it's
thing.
43993.5.
I don't know. That's not right, is it? Anyway, moving the picture on. In the ready room, Riker gives Picard an assessment of Shelby. She knows her stuff, but is a little too risky. Picard thinks that sounds like a first officer he used to know. Haha. But challenges him to why he's still around. Riker thinks the Enterprise is the best, so he's not for budging. Picard tells him to reconsider.
Get off my ship.
Get off my ship. I don't want you anymore. Riker has a drink.
Like, get off my ship.
He's right. Yeah, go away. He has a drink with Troy and 10 Forward and questions his decisions. He wonders why he doesn't have Shelby's drive anymore, and Troy tells him because he's seasoned. But Riker takes that as an insult. At the end of the day, though, she says it's a case of what makes him happy. So he's got some things to think about.
I won't tell you about all of them because, there's too many. But there was actually a sort of deleted scene from here where they carry on their conversation. He actually sings a little ditty, and then Guinan, who was clearing up dishes in the background, she stops and listens to him, and then she says, you can start on Friday, 2 shows a night and a matinee on Wednesday. And then he says he also plays the trombone. So she is like, all right, then great, and walks off. I just thought that would have been quite a nice little humorous exchange in an otherwise quite dark episode.
Yeah. But they cut that one out.
They did.
At least it's not. It's better to have loved and lost. Yes. In engineering, the crew are brainstorming what it would take to bring a Borg cube down.
Yeah, so question time. This is our third question, taking us to warp 4 if you're successful. And it's 100 TNG points this time. So big points coming your way.
Going big.
How much of the Borg cube would need to be damaged before it becomes inoperable? Would that be A, 10%, B, 38%, C, 78%, D, 83%, E, who cares anymore, 87%.
Well, I was going to put the question was going to be, and this is what I wrote first, was in 10 forward, they are drinking drinks at the table. What colour is Troy's drink? Is it A, red? And then I realised after I'd finished writing all the questions out, I was staring at this picture and was like, oh, damn it.
So, that's a bit presumptuous of you, because she could have just sat down there and it could have been somebody else's drink who was sat there before.
That's true.
So just to cover that again, A, 10%, B, 38%, C, 78%, D, 83%, E, 87%.
There were 12
no
Galaxy classes.
freaking idea.
Just taking another one as a compromise. Yeah, he could have gone to another Galaxy class ship, couldn't he?
Let's go for a complete guess-a-rooney.
It's a difficult one. I was trying to split people up because I knew they'd be getting them all right.
Every time Vicky puts Smiler puts the C question in, it auto corrects to Contagion, and then she's like, "Oh, damn it! I mean."
It's brilliant.
It's happened every time. I think she's supporting Mickey's autocorrect case.
That's brilliant.
Sean was saying, I think in reference to your Picard statements, thank God we finally know why it's called 10 Forward. Here was me thinking it was Forward Section 10. Turns out it was 10 Forward Avenue. Glad they fixed that plot hole.
Oh, I know. You
mentioned that a couple of weeks ago, didn't you?
I've moaned about it once or twice.
You may have. At least somebody else is moaning on your behalf this time.
Yeah. It's like Picard's dialogue's gone from we've got to negotiate about this, or, shields up, red alert, and now it's look at the stars and the light that's coming from them guides you to your future, and think about following those stars.
Mark, you're not that old yet, because when you get that old, you might be that way.
That's true. That's true.
I know somebody who's like a fierce businessman, and he's now in his 70s, and he talks all about fate and like the energy that knits the universe together. And you start getting a bit existential in your older age.
I suppose he is in his hundreds, isn't he? He is in his hundreds. Yeah. Fair play.
And technically, he's not him anymore.
Well, no, he's a robot. Yeah.
Robot.
A robot.
People get annoyed at me when I call Data a robot.
Oh, well, yeah, sorry. He's a human android. He's not a Data. He's a
humanoid.
He's a human android, which means he's supposed to be like a human equivalent of an android. or something.
A handroid?
Android. I don't know. Anyway, on topic. Whilst
I think G-Star needs to change his lighting to green because I have a green light and you got green
I know,
light.
we got green lights
He needs
today.
green light. It's Borg time.
It's Borg. We're Borgifying.
Oh, that's a good point. But I was more going for the red alert because the attack.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So as answers are coming in, we'll just carry on for a little bit. So they reach an impasse as they're all tired. Shelby wants to continue with Data because he doesn't need sleep, but Riker overrules her as he thinks she needs rest as well. The next day, the senior staff meet in the observation lounge. Admiral Hansen remotely notifies them that the USS Lalo recently reported contact with an alien cube-shaped vessel, Rotroll, but subsequently has gone quiet. Picard orders the Enterprise to head for the Lalo's location at maximum warp. Hansen says they're sending every ship they've got to assist, but they are 6 days out. On the bridge, all is quiet until Worf says an unidentified vessel has entered sensor range. It's changed direction and heading straight for them. Picard orders it on screen, and it is the Borg cube. I hear like that sort of like sort of like
Yeah. I mean, even when this episode
chanting
first started,
kind of thing. Yeah,
it's like
music.
the lighting, the music, like from the absolute first moment of this episode, I'm just like, it just gives me excitey shivers.
I did think when I used the Borg music in the intro, I thought that's going to be copyright striked, but surprisingly, it hasn't been. So I was quite happy about that. Right, should we go back to the answers?
Answers.
The answers.
Yes, let's
Karen's
do
not
the
here, so I can say my A's properly. Let's go to the answers.
Okay, the answers are, instead of going to the answers, shall I go to the scores?
Oh, go on then.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so here we go. Moving ahead into Warp 4 are the following captains. In the lead, with just a nudge, is Captain Stu Plum, who's in Warp 4 on 225 points.
Woo!
And then just slightly behind, but still in Warp 4, is Captain Mickey on 175 TNG points. And then just slightly behind, lagging a little bit in Warp 3, is Captain Mazza on 125 points and Sean on 125 points. The correct answer was C, 78%.
Well done, guys.
Well done.
I have a question for you, Pear. The freighter Lalo, which disappeared after sending the distress signal, was previously seen in which episode? Or previously mentioned, sorry, in which episode?
No idea.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We will always have Paris.
Oh, I wouldn't have got that. But well done. Good fact. Good factoid. Was there any other things about the second act?
I don't know. None that I've got asterisked at the moment. Apparently this episode was one of the very few that required all new shots of the Enterprise's exterior to be created rather than using stock footage. Did you know that?
I did not know that. I know they did it for a few episodes ago. I think it was the Most Toys had all new shots for that episode. But yeah, it's rare.
Doesn't happen often.
No.
And you were struggling with a Starbase number, but it was Starbase 157, right?
I don't know.
No, Stardate that he was struggling with.
Oh, was it Stardate?
I think I put the Stardate in the Starbase number.
But it was Starbase 157, which, you can kind of take the 1 off the 5 and you get a potential hidden 47.
47, right, yeah. Hidden 47.
Hidden 47.
Right, onwards with Act 3 then. Yeah.
This is where the Borg hail him by name, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
You've got my script. That's what you're reading ahead. Stop it.
I haven't. They wonder if it's the same ship they met before.
Act 3. The Borg hail him by name. They wonder if it's the same ship that they met before, but there's no way to tell. The Borg tell them who they are and tell Picard to surrender personally, and they will spare the ship. But Picard is bullish, saying they have new defences. The Borg probe them, and then they try to track to beam the Enterprise. They fluctuate their shields and hold them off for a bit, but eventually the shields fail.
Picture.
It's good. It's good. Stop it. It's a good picture. I like that picture.
It is a good picture.
It's the Enterprise D kicking bottom there. Although the phaser fire from the nasal it doesn't come from quite the right place. It should have been a bit further down. But anyway, the Enterprise fires all the phasers and torpedoes, but it doesn't do any good. The Borg ship starts cutting into the hull at the engineering level, so Geordi evacuates engineering, and we see a good shot of Geordi doing a roll under the blast doors. Shelby orders Data to fluctuate the phaser resonance frequency in a random pattern, and this works and breaks them free. They head out at warp 9 straight into a nebula.
Question time. What is the name of the nebula? Is it A, Mixon Nebula, B, Robinson Nebula, C, Davidson Nebula, D, Paulson Nebula, or E, Johnson Nebula? What's the name of the nebula?
I didn't know the Red Dwarf officers' mess was called parrots.
Yeah, they do the whole. But
They always
I
have
mean,
parrots.
Sean, yeah, we will always have parrots, and they do the whole. Our relationship didn't, or was it? Didn't amount to a whole tin of beans and all that kind of stuff. But you know, it wasn't a reference to Star Trek, right? It's a reference to Casablanca with Humphrey Bogart.
Oh, was that Crichton and the shape-changing blob?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
It's a classic story, sir. Android meets blob. Android loses blob. Blob finds blob. Android gets blob back again.
Classic story.
It's a classic tale, sir. How often have we heard that story?
Amazing.
Yeah, very good.
Yes, we're like Red Dwarf too. Sure.
Yeah. Red Dwarf review show coming sometime next year.
Yay! Count me in.
I got to put these shows in the vault, you see, so we keep them for prosperity. It's all got to go in the vault. Yeah. So, as answers are coming in, I shall carry on. They come to a full stop. This whole scene reminds me of the sort of cat and mouse games of Khan and Kirk from Star Trek 2. There's some good shots of the Enterprise going through the nebula clouds. Yeah, they come to a full stop and play a waiting game with the Borg cube. In the observation lounge, Shelby, Riker and the engineering team review their escape from the cube and find that the high narrow-band phaser frequency disrupts the Borg's distribution nodes. The only way to deliver enough power to stop them would be to adapt the main deflector dish to deliver a fatal blow. The blast, though, would destroy the Enterprise as well, which would be a bit of a bummer. Shelby also wants to separate the saucer section to give the Borg multiple targets, but Riker says no. He wants the power of the saucer section as well. She tells him to take it to the captain and let him decide, and Riker says, "I was going to." Well, he doesn't say it like that. But Riker goes to consult with Picard and finds Shelby in the ready room already. Picard, though, sides with Riker, as this is not the time, but orders him to consider it as a fallback option. Riker follows Shelby out of the ready room and into the turbo lift, and they argue, and Riker tells her that if she goes over his head again, she'll snap her back so hard she'll think she's a first-year cadet. And that was the end of Act number 3.
I applaud you, Smiler. You got one of the options actually correct.
Woohoo!
A was Mixon, not Nixon.
That's
B
close.
was Robinson, not Robertson. C
C's
was
Contagion.
Davidson. And D was Paulson. And then E was the one that you got right, which was Johnson.
Yeah. So
Do you want me to do the answers now?
let's have some answers, please. G-Star?
Have we got everybody's in? We've got Mazzers, Mickey. We've got Stu Plums as well. Yeah, we've got everybody's in. Right. So let's have a look at this then. Did I say how many points this was for? I don't think I did.
You
did I?
didn't, no.
How many points do you think this should be for?
Oh,
It was 100 the last time.
125?
125 if you follow the pattern.
Okay. 125 then, guys. So here we go. Let's work it out. We have Captain Mazza on 250 points and moving to warp 5. We have Mickey on, what did we just say? 125, 300 points and in
Do you
warp
trust his
5.
maths?
Yeah, I do. We have Stu Plum on 350 points and in warp 5. And then we have Captain Sean on 250 points and in warp 5. So we have
Who's
Stu
in
Plum
the lead? All right, Stu Plum's in the lead.
Stu Plum is in the lead with 350. Then we've closely following behind is, let me just make sure I got that right. Yeah, Mickey with 300. And then Mazza and Sean still level head on 250.
I thought when I first heard it that Riker said he was going to snap her back. But no, he's going to snap her back so hard, as in back in her career, not actually her back. He wasn't threatening her that hard. Yes. Okay.
Was that the end of the act?
There was.
She tells him she found the footprint.
That's
Damage
right.
was done by the Borg.
Yes.
No, that's not right.
No, that was the last act. No, that was...
God, you're nuts, man.
He can't even read your notes properly, even though he's
No.
got them in front of him.
We're about to start.
Snap her back.
Yes.
So he
Yeah.
snapped her back.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the one.
Right.
There
So
you
that
go.
visual of the Paulson Nebula was also used for the Mutara Nebula in Rafa Khan. And it was created by apparently putting like a plastic sheet in a tank and then half filled with fresh water, half filled with some kind of salt water, then taking the sheet out, swirling it around and putting a certain light through it.
Yeah. That's probably why I was getting Ratha Khan vibes.
Ah, yeah. And
just so
apparently
you
the
see what we're
script
talking
originally
about.
said the Paulson Nebula would be with large rocks and clumpy material, but I guess when they decided to reuse this sort of scene, they went for like a cloudy kind of nebula rather than a rocky, clumpy nebula.
It just looks so cool when you see a starship going through this nebula.
Yeah,
It's very cool.
certainly is.
There was something else I was going to say about this. Oh, no. How do I... Oh, back. That was the door that Geordie rolled under.
Oh yeah.
We didn't have a picture of that. As you say, all the shots were new for this episode, but some of them have been redone. The planet was a reuse of a planet from The Child, but obviously under the Blu-ray version, it was redone with a new digital planet. So that was a
Nice.
completely different shot. We can see it here. That's the new shot. That's what it looked originally. This the handheld device that she used to find the footprint. We see that come up in engineering for a number of different uses in the future. It was made for this scene, for this episode, but they then reuse it They reuse it a lot in the future. We can see here in Unification, someone's using it for something. Yeah, that's all I was going to say. Oh, and the matte painting. We talked about the matte painting earlier. Just it looked a lot better. I don't know if they changed the colouring or something, but in the HD version, it looks a lot better than it did in the standard version. So that was just some changes for the...
Cool.
Let's get back to the other one. Oops, no, wrong.
Act 4.
Act 4. Act 4. Okay. So the Enterprise and the Borg are playing their cat and mouse in the nebula. Picard's walking the ship ahead of the battle. He talks to Guinan in an empty 10 forward, and she reassures him that whilst they are facing almost certain oblivion, humanity, like our own people, will prevail. They are interrupted by the Borg firing a magnetometric charge. Magnetometric? Yeah, that. That's hunting the Enterprise down. Picard goes to the bridge and they have to head out the nebula. The cube gives chase and eventually catches the Enterprise once again in its tractor beam. Rot-row. A bunch of Borg beam onto the bridge. Riker tries to tackle one but gets thrown. Worf charges another one and gets lobbed. Another one appears and grabs Picard and beams him back to the cube. A shaken Riker orders them to pursue the Borg. Worf reports that they are heading to the Terran system, Earth.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
Question time. So, was 10 Forward named after a bar from the 21st century? No. The Terran system, or solar system, is also known as what designation? Is it E, Sector A1, D, Sector 007, C, Sector 10, B, Sector 100, or A, Sector 001? And the points for this one are 150 points. And moving on to Warp 6.
Woohoo! Okay. Good luck in deciphering all that one, Smiler Rainbow.
I'll say it again.
I wish you well.
The Terran system answers A, Sector 001, B, Sector 100, C, Sector 10, D, Sector 007, or E, Sector A1. Sector A1.
Hey. Oh, dear. Right.
Sean says it's the Sol system, not the solar system.
Yeah, it's the Sol system. Yeah. I didn't know if that might confuse people. So, on the Borg cube, they tell Picard that he speaks for his people, and now he will speak for them, as they will add his biological distinctiveness to their own. Back on the bridge, LaForge points out that to use their deflector weapon, they will need all the power from the warp engines, and at the moment, those are being used just to keep up with the Borg. Riker says he will lead the away team to look into a way of getting them out of warp. Shelby objects, though, that she's got more knowledge of the Borg, but Riker isn't listening. Troy jumps in and reminds him that he's the captain now, and it would be inappropriate for him to leave the bridge at this time. Riker relents and sends Shelby on the away mission. It is a bit of a silly move by Riker. I mean, he's just taken over captaincy and he's like, I'll lead this risky mission. It's like, have you learned nothing being first officer? Send your Borg expert.
To go save his pally
Yeah, I
pow
know.
pow.
It's just not thinking straight.
No.
But that was the end of Act 4.
I'm going to miss it. It was a good act.
We set sail. We sent Act 4 down the river and out to sea. We'll never see its like again.
Yeah.
Just going back to that matte painting, it was based on a a photograph of a meteor crater in Arizona, which is probably where like that bar was.
I've been there.
It's
right.
it's
Okay.
imaginative.
Yes,
It's
that's,
imaginatively called Meteor
God, I
Crater.
can't remember. Is it? Yeah. Well, I've got a coin. They have one of those coin press things there.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I've got one of them, and I've also got photographic evidence that I was there as well. Stood at the top
Cool.
of it, going like that.
Come on, that.
Going like
Yeah,
that.
no, that's cool.
Very cool.
Sorry, I just spotted that in my notes. I thought, oh, that's relevant. So many notes.
I like the way Smiler Rainbow doesn't put contagion in the question this time, but just shouts contagion afterwards, just to get it out of her system. Yeah, answers then. G on a postcard. What we got?
Oh, you want the answers? The answer was A, Sector 001.
Yes.
So I think everybody got it right.
Except for Stuplam.
Oh, poor
Is it the
Stuplam.
Stuplam? But are we missing Sean answering?
I answered, Sean answered, Mickey answered,
Yeah,
Stuplam
yeah, yeah.
answered.
Everybody got that. Awesome.
Never mind
Move along.
Stuplam. Never mind Stuplam. I think, is he still in the lead
You
or is
won the whole series. So.
yeah.
Yeah, hold on. What did I say it was worth? 150.
Oh,
So,
it's the calculation's starting to get hard now as the numbers get bigger.
yeah, well, I'm doing both the points calculation and the warp calculation, and warp in itself is just a lot of mathematics.
It's not.
Isn't that just adding
Oh,
on?
no, he didn't get that right. And then see,
It's not rocket science. It's warp physics.
So, jumping into the lead, we have Sticky Mickey with 450 points. And then very closely behind, just sitting on his warp cells, but everybody at warp 6 at 400 points, we have Captain Maz and Captain Sean. And then just falling now and dropping back with a bit of an engine problem, we have Stuplam on 350 points in warp 5.
Congratulations, Mickey, for taking the lead. It's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all.
Sean says with regard to that meteor crater, it's thank God the comet went just down and managed to miss the visitor center.
Wow, that is lucky. That is lucky.
Yeah, that made I chuckle.
Right, Act 5. Shelby and the way team warp beam, because you know that's a thing. To the Borg cube, armed with phasers, tuned to different frequencies. They look around and find. Oh, they look around. I don't know what I was saying there. But they find the Borg and Norum. They find power distribution nodes, and Beverly thinks if they think like a mosquito and take enough of them down, the Borg might stop and scratch. Worf then detects Picard's comm badge, so they go off to investigate. Back on the Big E, Riker is talking to Admiral Hansen. The Admiral tells him they are readying the fleet to make their final stand. Question
Is this the final
time.
act?
Yeah, question time.
Okay,
Question 6.
question time. Final question.
Final question of this episode. Yep.
Yeah. So this one is the all-important one to take you to warp 9 to finish out the episode on top warp speed. 9 point. Let's call it 9.9.
3. Whoa, that's ambitious.
Yeah, 9.9 with 175 TNG points, but the points will continue to grow in the second episode.
Craziness.
Yeah. Well, anyway, here's the question: where is the fleet making its stand? At the A? At the? Well, that's really difficult. A at the Briar Patch.
Sorry.
B at Sigma Alpha 47. Remember that mysterious 47. C at Starbase 7. Great place. D at Wolf 359. Never heard of it. And E at the Utopia.
Europa.
Planitia
Utopia.
shipyards.
Oh, it's Utopia.
Utopia.
Is it
Yeah.
Utopia?
Yeah.
It's Utopia, not Europia. You can,
At the Europe plant shipyards. Let's just call it that.
Utopia
shipyards.
Planitia. That's what it's supposed to say.
So
I can't type. Anyway.
yeah. Autocorrect. It was actually the Contagion Planitia shipyards.
Contagion Planitia. Yeah. It's a difficult question. I don't suppose anybody.
The last question of the episode.
I don't suppose anybody's going to get that one right.
No, looking by it, they've all gone and followed your trick and not listened to the question properly. Oops. There you go.
In the cube, the away team find Picard's uniform and comm badge. So wherever he is, he's naked.
Yeah, I said that in my notes. I've gone, oh, there's a little naked Picard running about the place. I'm surprised they didn't go, oh, I don't know if we really want to find him now. Of course, Karen would have wanted to.
She would have done, yeah. So they decide to take out some of the distribution nodes and a few of the Borg while they're at it. And it does manage to take the Borg cube out of warp, which is good. And luckily, Geordie's just finished modifying his deflector. So during the firefight, Beverly spots Picard, but he's been turned into a Borg. They are all shocked. Worf tries to grab him, but he's surrounded by some sort of force field, so they head back to the Enterprise. They beam back and give Riker a report of what they found. Geordie reports that he's ready to make the shot. Riker thinks that they have to take a shot now, but the others want another chance to rescue Picard. The Borg hail them, but this time it's not the Borg, it's Picard himself. He introduces himself as Locutus of Borg, and resistance is futile.
I don't know if I can wait a whole week for the next one. That's really frustrating.
Apparently, when he was first dressed up in that, he walked onto set and he looked really imposing. And then he said, "I am Locutus of Borg. Have you considered buying a Pontiac?" And everybody just fell about.
Anyway, we have a nice zoom-in shot of Riker's face, and Riker orders Worf to fire.
He's pursing his lips.
Yes.
Fire.
So there we go. That was the end of the episode.
Did I do the answers?
No, we haven't done the answers yet. No.
I'm so confused.
It's easy.
So many pieces of paper. It's like
I've got a few things to say at the end, by the way.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Move
well,
forward.
should we talk about those things or do the answers first? Should we do the answers first?
Yeah, let's do the answers.
Let's do those things.
Okay, fine. So this episode had a lot of first times. It was the first time that they used the phrase "resistance is futile." It's the first time they established Earth as being Sector 001. It was the first time they used a two-parter as like a
cliffhanger.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the first time they've done a two-parter since Menagerie Part 1 and 2 in 1966. So I guess that actually is the second time. First time the Borg seemed to assimilate someone. Also includes the first time that Dr. Crusher encounters the Borg, and actually Gates McFadden said specifically that she wanted an opportunity to fire a phaser, which is why they put her onto that away mission. Rankings and reception. It was listed one of the 10 essential episodes in the Star Trek 101. It's been given many sort of acclaims like that. TV Guide's 100 Greatest TV Episodes, all sorts of things like that. Cliff Bowl loved it. Ronald D. Moore loved it. Yeah, I won't go through all of those things. It also got an Emmy Award for Outstanding Achievement in Special Visual Effects. I'll do some more after you've done the answers.
I like the way Sean says, yeah, they needed someone to speak for them, an individual voice, because they haven't got one of those, unless you've seen First Contact, in which case, never mind.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that was one of the things actually was, although it was not seen, First Contact established that the Borg Queen was on board this cube.
So do they say in the bloopers, because like I get the whole fact that they want one voice to speak to them, but like anybody that we've seen that's been assimilated, they always turn, like he says, I am Locutus of Borg instead of we are Locutus of Borg. Did they put that in the bloopers anywhere or discuss it?
I mean, I think, the idea of the Queen kind of came a bit later, right? So they sort of developed that concept, but they started tossing around the idea of, oh, should we have like a spokesperson for the Borg and a way of more interacting with it? And at first, Michael Piller was a bit resistant. He thought the whole fact that they were a hive is what made them quite sinister.
I think that's correct here.
And then the more they started talking about it and who should be the Queen Bee, he suddenly sort of thought, ooh, Picard could be assimilated. Picard could become the Queen Bee. So it's sort of, he was gradually won over to the idea because he thought that would make a great cliffhanger to have, the captain assimilated. So that's why that idea of having Picard as a Queen Bee came from. And then later on that evolved into the Borg Queen and that kind of character that was then enduring through the other sort of Borg encounters.
And you can't undersell how big this episode was and the two-parter and what it did to television landscape at the time. Because the third season of The Next Generation was popular. I mean, they got into 3 seasons. They didn't think they'd do that, but it was a popular series. But Best of Both Worlds, the cliffhanger, made Star Trek The Next Generation explode into the most popular television show of its time and led all other episodic television series. Then from then on, if you reached the end of your series run at the end of the summer term, you ended on a cliffhanger for the next season to start in the autumn.
It was the closest thing in popular media at that time to rival the shock value and the cliffhangeriness of 10 years previously with Star Wars Episode 5, where Darth Vader said he was Luke Skywalker's father. They say that when this episode aired, there were millions of viewers simultaneously going, no!
Yeah. And of course, from then on, in every series of Star Trek, at the end of the season, you have a cliffhanger. And the same goes for, whether it be Buffy the Vampire Slayer or Stargate or any of the other series from the 1990s. Everybody followed the same pattern because this established something that was just massively successful.
Yeah.
But of course, then they started doing the second cliffhangers for the end of the autumn, beginning of the spring term as well. So you had your mid-season cliffhangers as well, because they realised that, hang on, we don't have to just do it for the end of seasons in the summer term. We could do it midway through the winter term as well. So then you had 2 cliffhangers per series. But yeah.
Do you know why he was called Locutus?
I have no idea now.
Because of Locus.
Locutus is the Latin word for one who speaks.
Oh.
Or
Like elocution.
or to speak
Eloquent.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Speaker.
Yeah.
Very good. And Sean says Gates McFadden was trained as a sword fighter from her dancing days. And with the episode of Q in Sherwood Forest, she wasn't given a sword, bless her. She must have been really disappointed. Right, so how we got scores then? Who won?
Yeah, we got the scores. Yeah, so basically, all captains got up to that warp 9, which is amazing. So well done, round of applause, everybody. Yeah. Awesome. And then our previous captain that was in the lead, unfortunately, by the end, dropped into the 4th place. So we had Captain Stuplum on 525 TNG points. And then in joint sort of 2nd place, on Warp 9, we had Captain Mazza and Captain Sean, both on a whopping 575 points. But Mickey really pulled out the warp engines towards the end and finished on 625 TNG points.
Wow.
Yay.
You solidified your silver place.
He did. I can't
And
click
you
on my actual
push
screen.
Andrew out of the medals.
Yeah, so that's it. Unfortunately, I've got to put Karen in the bronze place, and Andrew, I'm afraid you dropped out. So that was our top 3 there. We had Stuplum on 9, Mickey on 6, and Karen on 5. Well done, you guys.
Well done, all.
Your medals will be in the post. Now we're moving quickly on to scoring the episode. Dun, da, 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 da. Please, could you put?
Oh, this is very sad because we haven't talked about this, but this is my last time scoring.
Oh,
It is.
yeah.
This is your last score ever.
Yeah,
Sad
and it's a
times.
real shame because I never got to score my favourite episode of all time.
Oh, well, you can
Maybe
still.
you come back and guess.
We'll give you an honorary
Yeah.
score. We'll give you an honorary score. Yeah, put your scores in chat. Out of 10, what do you think this episode was? Let us know. And then from part 2 onwards, we'll be taking your scores in live chat and averaging them, and you will be our 3rd score on the scoreboard. So you're going to be on the score. Your scores are going to count from now on, and basically G Stars isn't. So we're replacing G Star with you,
With all of
guys,
you.
all you guys, because we think, quite frankly, you're more knowledgeable and more important. So,
But you and I stay in because we're just as knowledgeable and just as important.
exactly, yes.
I think Sean's more
It's
knowledgeable
just
than all of us.
That's it. I'm on.
It's all- I will say this
You
is
said that apparently there was some time when they were filming Mission Impossible and they couldn't get an actor to look surprised, so they brought Spock and Picard over from another studio or something to get that surprised look. Oh, that's funny.
right.
Anyway.
Are you ready for the
We got
scores,
a
then,
9,
guys?
an 8, and a 9.
9, an 8, and a 9. Here we go. Your scores, guys. 3, 2, 1. Doing. See, live chat. You're all wrong.
You are all wrong.
You're all wrong.
You call yourselves Star Trek fans. You don't know. Oh, I'm now worried about you guys scoring for the next season. That's not good enough.
So, that luckily puts Best of Both Worlds Part 1 at the top of the season, along with yesterday's Enterprise as our 2
Definitely.
favourite
Done our job
episodes.
correctly there.
Yeah. And
We've done it
closely
right.
followed by
Deja Q.
That's
Deja
a
Q.
clear top 3. There's clear air between those top 3 and anything that comes after.
Yeah, and they are the 3 best episodes of the season.
In our humble opinion.
I actually like Hollow Pursuits. I would have liked Hollow Pursuits to have been a bit better, but there we go. But Hollow Pursuits and Sarek are 2 good episodes as well, I suppose. That is our scoring.
Sean says that he thinks 9 is the perfect score. Otherwise, she'd have been called 7 out of 10.
That's true. Yeah. Yep.
7
So
out
there
of
we
10,
go.
I meant to say, sorry. Yeah. Cool.
Hmm.
I mean, I have various bits and bobs. Wolf 359 is a real star. Extremely faint dwarf, approximately 7.8 light years from Earth.
Yeah.
It's also the name of an Outer Limits episode. And they were going to have scenes of the actual Wolf 359 battle.
So
which
it's
kind of
also
got cut.
it's also the name of a science fiction podcast. It's like
cool.
an audio story.
Nice.
I know this because there might be a question about it coming up, so don't say too much.
Oh.
Right, but I have here the new sheet. Look at that! Look, a fresh, brand spanking sheet, and we've got Monty Band scores, Maz and McBob scores, and the audience scores. Ready?
And Stu Plum's already got gold.
Well, I left the colours there, but everybody's been
Yeah,
reset to
that's fine.
0 in that same order. But that's going to change. in the next
Yeah.
45 minutes. We'll go as quick as we can, Stu Plum. Don't worry. Yes. Okay, so carrying on very quickly. We are on Best of Both Worlds Part 2. It's episode 1 of season 4, production number 40274-175. It was first aired on the 24th of September 1990, so a couple of months after the last episode. It is the 74th episode to be produced and released, and again is written by Michael Piller and directed by Cliff Bowl. Who wants to see the trailer for Part 2?
Yeah.
You know you do.
Yeah.
You know you do.
Next time.
Oh, wait up. So, share. That one. Right.
Next time on Star Trek The Next Generation. You once knew him as Picard, captain of the Starship Enterprise, but now he's half man, half machine, a deadly pawn of the evil Borg. His mission, to destroy Earth and anything or anyone who gets in his way. It's the showdown of the 24th century on the next exciting episode of Star Trek The Next Generation.
There you go.
I like
Crazy.
the music was good. It wasn't the usual.
The usual
Fair.
happy. Da, 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 da.
I love that you used to know him as Captain Picard. Now he's half machine. And pawn of the evil force, the Borg.
Yeah. Right. Onwards and upwards.
Part 2.
Part 2, right, the teaser. For the first time.
Prior to filming,
Oh, have we got.
getting in there because it's a prior
Okay,
to film.
go on then.
Apparently, Levar Burton had surgery, so he didn't actually feature in all the scenes he was supposed to feature in. And also, this is the first episode where Will Wheaton is credited with his ensign rank for the first time.
Ah.
He probably injured himself rolling underneath the engineering door.
Actually, no, I thought that. They don't say what surgery he had, and he is standing up in one episode, but most of them they have him as close-up shots sat down. And apparently, a few of his lines went to Data or O'Brien. I think specifically when O'Brien sort of assisting with the Locutus stuff, that was probably all supposed to have been Geordie.
This is the first time we have a last time on Star Trek The Next Generation. So that takes up a large part of the teaser. So the teaser is going to be super quick. And we're going to go straight in with our first question.
Go.
Yes, we are. So question 1, which is now worth 200 TNG points, but before this episode started, the Borg attacked everybody's ship, right, in the Battle of World War 39. So you're all kind of now in this position where you need to get your engineering teams to get down there and get your nacelles back and working again so you can get back up to warp speed. So for Warp 1 and for 200 TNG points, here's the question. It ends with them firing their weapon. But what is the weapon they are firing? Is it A, modified phasers, B, modified shield burst, C, modified torpedoes, or D, modified sensor array, or C, modified deflector dish?
E.
What did I say?
C. You said
C.
C twice.
No, because I saw it, and then I went
Contagion!
C, modified.
Contagion.
It's contagious.
Phasers, shield burst, torpedo, sensor array, or deflector dish.
I don't know what I've done with
Let us know what you think it is.
I'm not too sure.
A, B, C, D,
Guessing.
or E. So, anyway, they discharge whatever their weapon they're discharging, but it does no damage, doesn't do anything. Locutus on the view screen tells them that in simulating Picard, they have attained all his knowledge. He tells Riker that resistance is hopeless, number one. And that was
It's
the
so
end.
spooky when he says number one. You're
It
like,
is,
ugh,
yeah.
just wrong.
It's spooky. But that was the end of our teaser as well. So there wasn't much to the teaser because it was taking it mostly with a recap.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go straight into Act 1 then, shall we? I think we've probably covered all the trivs for
Yar.
that. With the Enterprise now dead in space after firing its weapon, the Borg, seeing them as no longer a threat, resume their course for Earth. In the observation lounge, Riker and the senior staff update Admiral Hansen on their condition. Hansen says they've mobilised about 40 ships at Wolf 359. Shelby reminds him that the Borg now have the assistance of Picard, so they will need to be ready. Hansen tells Shelby a story of how he has never met anyone more courageous and with as much courage and determination as Jean-Luc Picard. So under no circumstances is anyone saying Picard is assisting the Borg. He is a casualty of war. Shelby apologises. This disappoints Beverly, who now realises there's no hope of recovering him. I think it's an important point by Shelby, though, pointing it out. I know that the Admiral robustly says, we just have to categorically deny that Picard's helping the Borg. But because they've assimilated his knowledge, you have to really factor that into your strategy of how you can't just blindly go in and do what do you know what I mean? What the Enterprise crew
kind of makes the same point later, right? But
they should have said to the Admiral, that's very well and good, but you got to consider this, else you're all going to be wiped out.
This is a very important strategic point in how we actually execute defeating them.
Yeah, but anyway. The Admiral goes on to field promote Riker to captain and commander of the Enterprise. Riker wishes the Admiral luck in the coming battle. Answers for the first question.
The bridge from which Hansen contacted the Enterprise was the reuse of Enterprise D's battle bridge.
It is the battle bridge. It's not just they say in the trivia it's a redress of the battle bridge, but actually it's just the battle bridge that Riker uses in a minute.
No, in mine it says it's a reuse.
Yeah,
of the battle bridge.
Yeah, it
not
is
a redress.
It is the battle bridge. Yeah, I double checked it. Yeah.
I'm having a pop at Mickey because now instead of blaming autocorrect, he's blaming me for getting the wrong answers. Because initially he put C, then he put deflected dish, then he put E, but deflected dish. G confused me.
That's kind of
there wasn't even a G answer in there.
You said C, deflected dish.
G, you confused him. G confused him.
Oh, right.
Your name.
Your name.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That's who you are.
So now it's not autocorrect. It's me, workmen and their tool.
Yeah. You all heard our conversation about how to use Facebook last week. Anyway.
I heard one side of it, which was, he works in IT. Why can't he get Facebook?
It's because I was logged on with a different account. Anyway.
Anyway. Correct answers. Let's see. Who put what? So we had Maz put A. That was really wrong.
I realised that immediately.
Sean put E. Mickey put C, and he was really wrong. But then he tried to cheat and said E. But I'll give it to you because I think I confused you, Mickey. Blame me. So, yeah, everybody got it right except Captain Mazza, who's still stuck with her engineer. Sort your engineering team out, Captain Mazza. They're a bit slow.
Never mind.
So everybody else is getting into Warp 1 on 200 points. Well done, captains.
Well done, everyone.
Let's get out of this Warp 359.
Go on, then.
Yeah.
It's question time again now. So,
is it?
Go, G.
Go for it.
Question time. What? Are you joking me? Right. Smiler, listen up. Wolf 359 is a star in a constellation of Leo. As viewed from the Terran system, it's approximately 7 light years from Earth. But what type of star is it? So, Smiler, just put what type of star is it? Is it A?
She says
brown-
flibble.
Flibble.
Ah.
Is it A, brown sauce? B, A, brown dwarf, sorry. Brown dwarf star. B, red dwarf star. C, yellow main sequence. Yeah, that's right. D, red gas giant. Or E, neutron.
Brown dwarf, red dwarf.
So what
yellow
type of
main
star is
sequence,
it? Brown
red gas.
dwarf, red dwarf, yellow main sequence, red gas giant, or neutron?
Yeah. For all you budding astronomers out there.
I don't know.
Well, if you don't know, there's an obvious
Mayonnaise
answer.
wasn't an answer. I like mayo.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say brown sauce, red sauce, mustard,
But you
chili.
chili. If you don't know, then there's one obvious one to choose because it's the most popular star in our galaxy. There's a bit of a hint, a bit of a clue. Don't know if that helps at all.
I'll go different to what everybody else says.
Anyway, whilst people are putting in their answers, we can say we're on course for Earth. The Borg continue their simulation of Picard by attaching an arm prosthesis. And have I got? Oh no, I'm not. I haven't got a picture. And they drain the colour from his human skin with a little probe that went inside of his head. From within the cutis, the only sign of his remaining humanity left within Jean-Luc Picard is a single tear that wells from his eye and continues down the side of his face. It's a really sad thing to see, isn't it? It's kind of upsetting, horrific, and poignant all at the same time. It's like to see the struggle still going on behind his dead eyes. In the turbo lift, the newly promoted Captain Riker discusses strategy with Worf. Wes has developed a chip to retune the phasers after each firing. Riker comments that they are now not only fighting the Borg, but also the life experience of Picard, who knows them better than they know themselves. Worf thinks, though, that the Borg have neither honour nor courage, and that is their greatest advantage. So, yeah, thanks, Worf. In engineering, Geordie, Shelby and the engineering team are having problems getting everything up and running again. Riker congratulates Shelby on giving them their shot and defeating the Borg. Shelby laments that they didn't get Picard, though. She gives him her pitch to be his first officer, and he's like, "Damn, girl, you're ambitious." Data interrupts over the comms to say the fleet have engaged the Borg at Wharf 359. Riker goes to the bridge, and communication with the Admiral is cut off, like something bad just happened to them. And that's the end of Act 1. Let's go to the answers.
The answers.
The
Well,
answers.
Yeah. Think
Or
Lister.
are you not?
Think Lister.
Oh, Red Dwarf.
Yeah. So the answer
We've
was
been
B.
talking about it all along.
All night. Yay.
It was all
Flibble.
subliminal messaging, you see.
Is that why Smiler said flibble?
Flibble.
Was that a hint? in
No.
fact?
It was just
Could have
coincidence.
been, because that's what Rimmer says when he's having his.
I know, that's a Red
Episode.
Dwarf reference as well, yeah.
Yes. This is not a drill. This is a drill. Yeah, so then it all swaps around and it's all just gone like bang on its head now because we've got one captain who's shooting right out of the Sol system, chasing that Borg cube. Captain Mickey on 425 points on Warp 2. Captain Maz has now got her engineering team all sorted out and, actually gone straight flying into Warp 2 on 225 points. Whereas Captain Sean and Captain Stu are still in Warp 1, orbiting the Red Dwarf. Sorry, and staying on 200 points. So, yeah, it just goes to show you every question can change the game.
Yeah, I thought I didn't think that was going to be one of the tricky questions, but there you go.
Surprised you, didn't it?
Yeah, it surprised me.
Did you know
Red Dwarf?
there was sorry.
No,
I know everything.
The Red Dwarf star is the most popular star in the galaxy.
I know everything. Ask me anything. What I don't know, Monty knows.
Okay, then I will ask you and see if you know.
Okay.
There was a small control pad added near the view screen in the Enterprise observation lounge in this episode, which was missing in the last episode. Why was it missing?
That's one that Monty knows.
I don't know. Was the observation lounge reused as another room?
No, as would often become the case with this component, the pad was stolen by thieving souvenir hunters, despite the presence of 2 full-time security guards.
Wow.
So that's why it was missing in the last episode.
Cool. Because it is one of those rooms that they do reuse as like lots of different rooms, don't they? So, well, there you go. Thieves.
Smelly little thieves.
Act 2. Oh, you haven't
Red alert.
changed the picture.
Just like it was quite
I know he got
Red
there with the
alert.
answer before me.
Are you
give me
sure,
a little
sir?
time next time, Sean.
Are you sure, sir? That does mean we will have to change the light bulb. Yeah.
There was, some observations about people's hair changed between one episode and another because, of course, they were filmed like 3 months apart.
They were.
But one of the comments said Dr. Crusher's hair chart is much thicker and fuller wig and also less red in color.
She wears a wig. I didn't
She's
realise.
always had red
Yeah.
long hair.
I don't think she wears a wig.
Unless they just put a red long-haired wig over her red long hair, which wouldn't make any sense. So yeah, I don't think it's a wig.
I don't think it's a wig.
No.
Okay. So that was the end of Act 1. So Act 2. On the Enterprise, with all repairs complete, they head to Wolf 359. In the observation lounge, Riker reluctantly promotes Shelby to be his first officer over Worf and Data. He surmises that it's best for everyone to stay in their traditional posts where he needs them, and Shelby is their Borg expert. They discuss possible weapons to use against the Borg, including graviton beams and nanites, but all like nanites, I don't know, but they basically can't all be readied in time. I completely didn't write my sentence. Riker gives a little pep talk to say that he can captain this ship, but he could never replace Picard. The talk was meant to be encouraging, but Will's doubts shone through.
Which, of course, concerns Guinan.
Yeah, Guinan picks up on this juju from 10 forward and meets him in the ready room. As Will's sort of standing in the middle of the ready room looking at an empty chair and saying, "What would you do?" Guinan just walks in and just happily sits in the chair. She senses that he needs her. She gives him a pep talk and tells him that he's a man. She tells him things like, if a man's convinced he's going to die tomorrow, he will find a way to make it happen. She tells him he needs to let Picard go. And if he wrote the book on the Enterprise, it's time to throw that book out and write his own book. She then leaves Riker and he sits in Picard's chair.
Question time.
Yay!
Ready, Spiner?
Question
Behind
3.
Guinan, we see a display of rocks and fossils. But what was on this shelf in the part 1 of this two-parter? Was it A, a Shakespearean book? Was it B, a ship in a bottle? Was it C, a Nautilus shell? Was it D, it was empty? Or E, the same rocks and fossils.
And I don't think I forgot to bold the correct answer, so I don't
You
think
did.
So I don't think G actually knows what the correct answer to this one is either.
I don't. No, I don't. So I can play.
I just noticed that. I didn't actually provide the answer. But anyway, put your answers in chat. What is it? What was on that shelf in the first episode? They enter the Wolf 359 system and find the fleet has suffered utterly and been utterly destroyed. Shelby identifies 3 ships, the Tolstoy, the Kyushu, and the Melbourne, the ship Riker was offered in part 1. That leaves Riker feeling even worse about what's happened, knowing that his potential future comrades have all been killed. And that's how we end Act 2. Any other goofs and trivial factor? You probably there's something about the shelf in the, the ready room, but don't say that one.
No, not specifically.
Oh.
I was just having a small technical crisis. My charger cable seemed to be malfunctioning, so all of a sudden I was getting low battery errors. But I switched everything off at the power wall, and it all seems to be working again. So crisis over. I didn't even hear the question. Something about a shelf.
Well, I've noticed all my lights have gone off.
Oh, it must have been when I switched I switched off the power to the whole sort of Crown Hill and surrounding area.
My lights are...
This is continuing from your strange light activity the other day.
Yeah, my LED's just been doing weird things recently, and they've just gone off. Mm.
Oh, apparently the anticipation for this episode was so great that somebody concocted a fake version of the script, and some fans got possession of it. But apparently in this fake version, the assimilation was a prank by Q.
Really?
This all happened. There was just so much hype at the time. There were all kinds of rumors going around. Shelby was going to be in it permanently from like mid-season onwards, and there were all kinds of rumors flying around.
Yeah, okay. The only bit that really got me in the Picard finale was when Picard and Q hugged.
Yeah, that's that.
All right, that got me. I'll admit it. That got me. All right.
I got.
Apart from that, I didn't get teary-eyed. I was like, well, I'm not giving that.
I would say glazed.
Glazed. Yeah. All right.
It's like there wasn't wetness drooling down my face.
No.
But yeah.
It was, wasn't it? You were just sobbing like a baby.
It's true, I was.
Yeah.
It's so sad. It's so sad.
Yeah.
He's gone.
He's gone. Yeah. We got answers in then to the question.
Yeah, I think we finally got Captain Maz's answer in.
I just picked the first one. I have no idea.
The same old tat. Mickey. See, for me, the answer is that if I'm to make a guess, because I don't know the answer, but I'm pretty 100% sure that it was a ship in a bowl.
Oh, that's a good answer. It's good, but it's not right. Catchphrase.
How many percent sure was that, G?
Really 100%. I was 0% sure. The one was just a autocorrect.
There you go. The answer is on screen.
What the hell is that?
It's a shell.
It's a Nautilus shell.
No, that's a ship in a bowl.
That's a Nautilus shell. It was a Nautilus shell there from season 3. But when they rebuilt the sets and for season 4, they changed the Nautilus shell for some rocks. How Picard done that in his ready room? I don't know.
There we go. So that was for 250 points, and to get into warp 5, I'm deciding it's warp 5. So, Sean, you're on warp 5 and on 250, 450 TNG points. Stu Plum, you're also going into warp 5, going straight from warp 1, and also on 450 TNG points. Mazza, Nothing, still stuck there on warp 2. And then Mickey, still stuck in warp 2 on 425. So we have 2 new leaders again. Stu, Plum, and Sean have taken the lead in warp 5 on 450 points.
Hey.
Nice.
Change every question. I love it. Bouncing up and down. Everybody on different warp speeds. Some people with a good crew, some people with a crap crew.
Yeah. I was trying to find something, but I can't find it. Sorry if I'm looking distant.
That's all right. I'll say some trivia while you do.
Say some trivia.
So, just some continuity stuff. So, we never really saw. So originally they were going to film the Battle of Wolf 359, and originally this was going to be a 3-parter, but they cut budget and they turned it into a kind of a 3-parter in a different way with the continuation in the next episode. But they obviously showed little sequences from the Battle 359 in Deep Space Nine in Emissary, where the USS Saratoga was destroyed, setting up the story of the main character in Deep Space Nine, which I thought was quite cool. That's at the end.
Just talking about ships
this
in a
episode
bottle.
won 2 Emmy Awards, apparently, for outstanding sound mixing for a drama series, and it's outstanding sound editing for a drama series. So that was pretty good.
That sounds really good.
There's a outtake, a goof with. I don't know if you remember when they were talking about ships in a bottle, and this was, I think, earlier in season 3. Just because we were talking about ships in a bottle.
Model airships. I used to build them when I was a child. My God, I bet I had a Chameleon battle cruiser too.
Don't know if you remember this.
Yeah, of course.
Worf gets it wrong.
You're certain about the atmospheric conditions data?
There is adequate oxygen for life support, Commander.
It is exactly as they left it, number 1. In the bottle. Ship in the bottle. Oh, good Lord. Didn't anybody here build ships in bottles when they were boys?
I never played with boy.
I did, sir.
Anyway, sorry, that made me laugh.
Nice.
I did, sir.
Sean wants to know, did any of you make ships in bottles as children?
No, I didn't actually. No, I have built some jet
You made many
fighters.
kinds of models, but not in bottles.
I made many enterprises. Sad but true.
And he drank lots of bottles.
I've drank lots of bottles, and I've made plenty of enterprise models. Not ones in bottles. No.
Anyway, to end off Act 2,
yes,
they enter the Wolf 359 system.
Carry on.
Go on. No, I'm joking.
Go on. No, carry on.
No, carry on.
They enter the Wolf 359 system and find that the fleet's been utterly destroyed. He's already said that. We've said that. We're on Act 3 now. Act 3. Worf detects eddy currents, which Data thinks might indicate the direction the Borg cubes departed. But as they're heading towards Earth, I think they've got probably a pretty good idea of where they're going. It's pretty obvious. Riker orders Shelby to initiate the sources separation plan once they catch up with the Borg. Shelby reminds him that Picard knew about that plan, but Riker says he's counting on it. He then goes and gives Worf and Data a special mission. Riker, on the battle bridge, now hails Locutus and tells him they want to meet to discuss terms. Locutus is skeptical, saying discussion is irrelevant. Locutus tells Riker if he intervenes, they will destroy him. Riker says, take your best shot, because I'm about to intervene. Shelby on the main bridge initiates sources separation. Once complete, they engage the Borg. I'm a little confused at how that whole scenario happens, because one minute they're talking about which direction the Borg cube have gone. Then they're hailing them as though, we've got to meet. and then all of a sudden they're separating, and they're at the Borg, and they're initiating a fight. It's like
Nobody's at warp.
Yeah, nobody's at warp. It's like, how did they catch up with the Borg, stop them long enough to separate, and then start the whole engagement? And yeah, it's a little bit confusing. That whole scenario for me didn't quite work, but
Yeah.
anyway. They get there. They get there and they separate and engage the Borg. And we go to a question time.
Question time. Even separated, the Enterprise is still two big ships. But how long is the Enterprise, D? Is it A, 642.5 meters, B, 500 meters, C, 342.5 meters, D, 1 kilometer, E, only Monty knows?
Nobody knows.
Apparently, this was the last TNG episode to feature a saucer set,
Really? I think this is the third
having
time.
previously been shown in
Third
Encounter at
time.
Farpoint and Arsenal of Freedom. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't. I don't think they separate again. Not
No.
until. Did they separate in Generations?
Yes.
So yeah, it's the last TNG episode to feature a saucer
Yeah.
set.
Yeah. They do it in the film again.
And
Interestingly, in the Blu-ray version, if you're watching it on Netflix or Blu-ray, the source of separation sequence is all CGI. It's they redid it. It's not reused footage at all.
yeah, the this episode in general was a little bit sort of trailblazing in its effects, in that it did use a lot of more digitally created effects, rather than some of the previous things that they've done. They used something like 87, 89, something different visual effects in this one episode, and it was similar for the first part as well. So there was quite a lot of thinking that had gone into it. One of the cheapest ones was his little eye laser. It's like a $3 laser that I think belonged to like Cliff Bowles' son or one of their sons.
right.
I don't know. It's like they stuck it on, and when it did the thing where it goes towards the camera, they were like, "Yes, that's exactly what we needed." It cost us virtually nothing. It's
It
funny.
is a good look, and it's then used like all of the mercenaries in Picard had to have laser vision guns so that they could then walk through the field panning their red lasers left and right, because that's what Borg was supposed to do.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
The other thing I was going to say, sorry, was just an observation about this this specifically. So when they talked to Hansen originally, he said, "We've got 40 ships. We're going to Wolf 359. The Klingons are coming, and we're even thinking about contacting the Romulans, right?" And then you see all the wreckage of the ships, and where are the Klingons?
Oh,
Okay.
there's no Klingons.
Some people say they didn't turn up or they scarpered, but other people say that if they are losing a battle, then they would do a suicide run. So therefore, they would have just been completely obliterated. But yeah, interesting.
Pretty cool. Well, I think it's pretty cool. But the site where I get the comparison pictures off do a breakdown of these scenes and which ships which in the wreckage. So as the Enterprise goes by, they identify that this was the USS Melbourne, this was the Kyushu, this was the Buran, this bit here is the USS Firebrand, and there's like a kind of matrix of all the ships that you see destroyed and which ships they are. So
Decent.
if you're interested in that sort of thing, check out X Asterix.
Mazza, what's your answer?
I've put E in.
E.
Did you put that in? Oh, yeah,
A
sorry.
minute ago.
Apologies. So that's everybody's answers in, right?
Everybody's answered.
Everybody's answered. And the only person that got it right was Sean.
Well done, Sean.
With
Well
642.5 meters. That was 275 TNG points Sean just got, and he went ahead into warp 7. So just to give everybody a roundup, he's on 725. Stu Plum is in second position in warp 5 on 450 points. Then we've got Mickey in warp 5 as well on 425, and Captain Mazza still in warp 2 at 225 points. The next question will be worth 300 points and takes you to warp 8.
Cool.
I've just got to take a bio break, so I'll be back shortly.
No worries. Wes notes that the Borg are going after the battle drive section and ignoring the saucer, which Riker is expecting, as Picard would not perceive it as a threat. Riker gives the order to Shelby to complete the next phase of the secret plan. Shelby orders the firing of an antimatter spread, which initially confuses Locutus. He didn't expect that coming from the saucer section. Meanwhile, Worf and Data embark on their own secret mission to launch a shuttlecraft from the saucer section and penetrate the Borg shields. They then use the shuttle's transporters to beam onto the cube. They find Locutus straight away, which is a pretty big piece of luck on a ship that's about 10 times the size of the Enterprise, and shoot their way through a few Borg. Worf grabs Locutus, who this time doesn't have any ray shields, and wrestles him. Data then steps in, neutralizes the captain. They escape with him to the shuttle and hurry back to the Enterprise. O'Brien beams them on board just as the shuttle is blown up by the Borg. Riker is seen grinning as his strategy has worked perfectly. There is a little improvement to a goof that was in the original effects for this shot.
Oh.
When they leave the shuttle bay, they're leaving the shuttle bay in the shuttle. They forget that it's the saucer section. So when they fly out, there's just a flat wall where it should have been a sloping wall. There was supposed to be a little angular bit of the model that they put in the background here that they missed out. So when they put it to Blu-ray, instead of it being a flat wall that they leave, they add the angular piece there.
Yeah.
So it looks more in keeping.
Did they fix the fact that they passed by the warp drive section, which indicates that they are leaving from the front side rather than the aft? I don't know. I forgot to check on that one.
They still pass the star drive section, the warp nacelles, because they're leaving from the saucer, which is next to it. So yeah.
He says they'll be departing exactly 3 seconds. Somebody, bless them, timed it, and they say it was exactly 3 seconds. I think that's quite funny. Very precise.
Yeah. No, I haven't got a picture of what I was going to say. Well, I'll pick it up in a minute. I'll carry on. I will carry on. Let's go back to where I was. Okay. That's what it was. Oh, sorry. I do apologise. I was just going to say this whole shot here, they really massively improved in the Blu-ray version. I just got to find it. So in the original SD version, it looked like that. For some reason, they really over-saturated it. And it always looked really rubbish compared to all the other shots. I think they didn't superimpose this screen very well, so they just really oversaturated the shot. But now, in recompositing it for the HD, they made it. They made it proper. They improved. They improved the lighting of that whole piece, and it does. I have to say, it does look a whole lot better. I thought, was that new effects or something? I was like, oh, that looks really cool. But no, they just really improved it from the original SD version. So yeah.
Decent.
Getting back to it.
Checking there's not a hole in the bottom, G.
Yeah. Keeps
check-
going down very quickly.
Oh, I thought you were checking for a ship in your bottle.
We are a Gryffindor house here. With Luda thinks he's a Gryffindor and I'm a Ravenclaw.
Yeah, Ravenclaw.
And I'm wearing blue, which is actually Ravenclaw.
Ravenclaw to the end. Ravenclaw to the end.
If you use Wizarding World, you can find out exactly what you are.
Yeah, but you know, some people answer them in the way that they think to make them be what they want to be.
They say the Sorting Hat does take that into consideration.
Some people think he might be Slytherin. But yeah. Gryffindor.
Did we have answers to the questions? We did.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yep.
We did.
Onwards.
Yeah. So we finished
Act 4.
Act 4. With the saucer section a sitting duck, everyone prepares for the worst. The Borg power up, but instead of attacking, they warp off and resume their course for Earth. Riker orders the Enterprise to recombine and take off after the Borg. In sickbay, Dr. Crusher would like more time to study the assimilation process before waking him, but Riker doesn't have the time, as he hopes to use Locutus to access the Borg systems. She wakes him and he sits up and tells Riker he used an incorrect strategy to risk the crew and the ship to rescue one man. Picard would not have approved. Locutus says he will continue to speak for the Borg. Their interference has made no difference to their plans. On the bridge, Data detects a subspace signal between Picard and the Borg ship. This must be the way they all stay connected and communicate. Riker wants a way to reach Picard, but the Borg implants are getting in the way. Data wants to bypass Picard and access the machine elements directly.
Good idea. Question time. Data has a man-made brain, but what is it called? A. Duotronic brain. B. A multitronic brain. C. Brain. Or Brian.
It's Brian.
D. Positronic brain. Or E. Multiphasic brain.
Go on, say them all again.
A. Duotonic brain. B. Multitronic brain. C. Brian. D. Positronic brain. Or E. Multiphasic brain.
Yep.
Why'd you make him say it again? We haven't got all night.
A, B, C, D, or E. Okay. In sickbay, Locutus is happy, going around telling everyone they are going to be assimilated. Worf objects, though.
He's like a happy little boy.
I know, he's happy. And you will be assimilated.
And you.
You will be at one with the Borg. You will be assimilated also. Worf says...
will be one.
Worf objects. He says he likes his species the way it is. Interestingly, Locutus tells Data he's an artificial organism and will be obsolete in the new order.
Which is kind of funny, seeing
Which
as
is,
in the film they kind of are quite interested in him.
Or is he the perfect being?
Yeah.
They sedate Locutus and take him to Data's lab. Meanwhile, Shelby comes in from the bridge to inform them that the Borg cube has entered Sector 001. End of Act 4.
Yeah, you say that, but where were they at the point when that statement was made?
Oh, I don't know.
They were at like Saturn, weren't they? So
wow. Yeah.
Actually, that would have meant that they had entered Sector 001 approximately 2.8 billion miles sooner than that.
All
they would
answers
have already
are,
passed by about 4 other planets.
all answers are in, Smiler, so you're okay. You're okay.
All answers are in. We confirmed we have a result.
D.
Yeah, it was a very simple question. So everybody got it right. And we have 3 captains who speeded up to warp 8, along with our leader captain leading the fleet, who is now on 1,025 points after winning 300 for that last round. And that's Captain Sean. And then all the other positions have stayed the same. So we still have Captain Stu in 2nd place on 750 points. Mickey in 3rd place on 725 points. And Captain Mazza in 4th place on 525 points. But everybody is at Warp 8, moving along nicely.
Cool. Yeah, as sort of Sean sort of echoing that, he's saying actually a sector is even bigger than that. It's about a day or so at max warp speed. So, I mean, I was just like pointing out the solar system, but yeah, the sector itself would have been much bigger. And the other thing is actually that it's approaching Saturn from the side which is illuminated by the sun, which means that they would have been moving away from Earth.
Yeah. Awkward. They don't even know where they're going.
Yeah.
The A.
Good for us, though, isn't it? Like the Borg, they got lost. They're heading out.
They don't know where they're going.
Let's not put them back on course.
The A option in that last quiz, Duotronic. Have you heard of that before?
Mm-hmm.
Duotronic? Do you know what that is?
Can't remember, but I've heard of it, yeah.
It's what the ship's computer is based on. So positronic brain is the evolution of Duotronic, which Dr. Daystrom invented, that the ship's computers are based on. So,
nice.
There you go. Oh no, we've said that. Act 5. We're on to the final act of the final episode of this evening. We've done it, guys. We made it. Just about. The Enterprise in pursuit. Shelby reports that Jupiter Outpost 92 has reported visual sighting of the Borg cube, and planetary defenses are responding. What's more, the cube is 27 minutes from Earth, but they are 42 minutes from the Borg. In Data's lab, Data and O'Brien are trying to gain access to Picard via the Borg implants. This is being overseen by Crusher and Troy. Data initiates the first neural link, but it doesn't seem to do anything. Meanwhile, the Borg are making its way through the Mars defense perimeter. They blow them all up like they weren't even there. Data initiates the second neural link and again finds no significant access, so proceeds with the third and final link. Locutus starts twitching. On connecting, Dr. Crusher reports that his hypothalamus activity has increased along with his heart rate. O'Brien reports that Data's submicron activity has significantly increased. Data establishes connection to Borg's subspace signal and starts repeating processing. But everybody looks at him like quite concerned as he's just processing. But he's like, no, wait, processing. As he increases access, Locutus becomes aware that he's doing something and fights back. Data grabs his arm, though, and eventually his mechanical arm breaks off, leaving Locutus staring confusingly at his arm. Dr. Crusher is picking up an increase in neural activity in Picard.
Question time.
For the last time, the last question of the night.
Worth 400 TNG points and getting you into Warp 9. So, listen up, guys. Are we going to make this fastest on the buzzer?
No.
All right. How does Picard initially make contact? Is it A, by grabbing Deanna's arm?
Sorry, I spelled that wrong.
B, by grabbing Data's arm? C, by grabbing Crusher's arm? Or D, by grabbing O'Brien's arm? Or E, by saying, make it so? Was it A, by grabbing the arm of Deanna, Data, Crusher, O'Brien, or saying, make it so?
Beverly thinks that their connection might be their Achilles heel, in the same way that we cannot cut off a limb, they cannot disconnect from each other. Riker comments that, you mean if one jumps off a cliff, they all do? Data wants to know what command to implant. Riker says make it something straightforward like disarm all your weapon systems. Worf points out that the cube is within visual range. Riker orders red alert. Worf says that means we have to change the light bulb. And ready all weapons. Borg try to lock on tractor beam again. Data cannot access the Borg weapon controls as it's restricted. The Enterprise fires all its weapons, but to no effect. Data reports that he cannot access any of the primary tactical commands because all those functions are protected. Riker orders Wes to ready a collision course and tells Geordi to ready warp speed. They're going to commit suicide. In the lab, Picard says, sleep, Data. Beverly, she's like, oh, bless, he's exhausted. Data's like, yes, he is, but I don't think that's a message expressing fatigue, but a suggestion. On the bridge, Riker is about to tell Wesley to engage warp speed when Data comes in to say, stand by. He's like, stand by. Oh, great. Data tells them he's attempting to gain access to their regeneration subroutine. Meanwhile, the Borg start cutting into the secondary hull again. Then everything stops. Data reports he's submitted a command to tell them to start regeneration, which has effectively put them all to sleep. Worf confirms that there's minimal power and no electromagnetic field. So Riker orders Shelby to go check it out. She takes Worf and a security guy and confirms that the Borg are all regenerating. Though she picks up that, by the looks of it, they've realised something's amiss and started a self-destruct sequence. Right, before I do the last couple of paragraphs, do you want to go to the answers, Gene?
Answer? Basically, we haven't got everybody's answer in yet.
Shall I carry on then?
Oh, no, yeah. Hold on. No, we have. Yes, we have. So
Woo-hoo!
why don't you click on to the next picture and we'll find out the answer.
Oh, that's a good idea. I like that idea. Oh no, that's not it. There we go.
There's your answer, guys.
There's your answer.
So the correct answer was B, or Data's.
Again,
so
I didn't.
Two correct answers and one incorrect answer, so that could have completely changed it up. I've just realised. So
sorry, I didn't put the answer for you again, did I? So you didn't know.
No, but I thought that was clever by showing the picture.
Yeah. Okay.
I honestly did. I'm not making that up. Who else got it right?
I said that he touched Deanna's box, and then I corrected that to brain box. But before he actually reached out and touched Data's arm, she was like, hold on a minute. Like she could sense him in there. So I think he actually touched her mind before he touched Data's arm. So I was going for a
metaphysical touching.
Yeah.
Okay, shall we do the roundup of the scores, or do you want to finish the narration?
Let's finish the narration, and then we'll give a roundup of the scores. And then we're done. Riker visits Data's lab. Beverly is worried what the destruction of the cube will do to Picard. Data points out that it would be an advantage to investigate their technology. But Riker's like, I don't think so. Extract yourself from Picard, Data, and let's get out of here. The away team beam back, and the Enterprise warps away just as the cube blows up.
Yay! Borgie dead.
Yep.
They created a separate model for this one.
Did they?
They just had cobbled it together with a kind of a cardboard inner, and then got lots of little bits and bobs and stuck it to the outside. They were like, that's not right. Got more stuff, stuck it on. But yeah, because they needed a blow-upable one, which they got in one take. So that was good.
Pretty cool. It's a good effect. They didn't have to redo it for the for Blu-ray.
HD.
With the connection broken, Picard is back and tells Troy he feels almost human, but has a bit of a headache. Riker asks him how much of it he remembers, and Picard says everything, including some brilliantly unorthodox strategy from his former first officer. Later, in Picard's ready room, Riker delivers a report that the estimated time for repair will be 5 to 6 weeks. Shelby enters and asks permission to depart. She tells Riker he must have his choice of command now, and Riker tells them that to basically mind their own business only when it comes to his career, though agrees it's nice to have options. She hopes she will be of service to him again, and Picard orders Riker to get underway, and then whilst drinking his cup of Earl Grey, he stares out of the window to open space. And that's the end of the episode. We got there.
Have
We
many,
did
many
indeed.
things. I mean, only scratched the surface of the things, really. But yeah, there's a few little bitsy bobsies. Apparently, they changed the transporter shimmer effect. It's like now not. It's now like a white silver color with smaller refined particles. It used to be bluer, so that was a change. It was also the first time they established that. The shuttles have their own transporter systems.
Not seen that before.
No, exactly. I told you about that one. So apparently the shots of the saucer section were actually the last time that they had any new footage of the 6-foot Enterprise. I know you like to talk about the different models.
Love a bit of 6-foot action.
Well, in fact, it was the last time it was shot until Generations. But stock footage continues to be used throughout the series, but it was the last new footage filmed in the series.
Yeah, it's probably just too difficult to do. It was just a hassle when they had the 4-foot model. Just easier to use, wasn't it?
And towards the end there, was Riker still captain? Because they'd obviously had the time to do microsurgery on Picard and it get his face all patched up and everything, but Will was still wearing his 4 pips?
He was still wearing his 4 pips. But there's... if you're field promoted, it is random to when you can be re-demoted again. Some people are never re-demoted and they just stay at that thing. But,
interesting.
Obviously, they weren't quite sure whether he was going to remain it or not, but by the next episode, he's back to being first officer again. So
apparently, both Cliff Bowl and Michael Piller said compared to the first episode, they didn't think this one quite measured up, but there are lots of other people that, still think it's outstanding. And in fact, for some of the ratings and things, actually where the last episode was number 2 in Viewer's Choice or whatever, this one was number 1. And it was 37 and 36 in terms of overall. So, general popularity is like, this is just as good. But the writers, I think they were so big that there was so much hype over the summer. I guess they felt like they never really could do it justice. But, yeah.
do you know, in Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country, Spock is captain as well. He's Captain Spock, even though he's acting as Kirk's first officer. But also, Scotty is captain of engineering, so he's a captain as well. Right. And Uhura is captain of communications. So,
so you
Uhura,
can get
Scotty,
captaincy in your own
Spock.
areas.
Yeah, they're all captains
All
on board that
captains.
ship by Star Trek 6. Apart from Chekhov. Oh, Sulu was a captain of the Excelsior.
You think that would be right, though, on a flagship, though?
But
yeah.
Chekhov's still commander. Even though he was the first one.
I guess it would be, probably, yeah.
But it's wrong because he was the first one to get to first officer.
Oh,
because he was first
I'm not saying
officer
that was right.
on the Reliant in Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan. So you'd think he was the first one to get promoted to commander and first officer, and yet by the end of it in Star Trek 6, he was the only one who wasn't a captain. Poor Chekhov. Anyway, I digress. Yes, let's get the scores in then, G.
Scores on the board.
So that last question really mixed it up and changed the leaderboard entirely. So we had 2 captains who remained lagging a little bit in Warp 8. We had Captain Mazza on 525 points. And then we had Captain Sean on 1,025 points, stuck in Warp 8. And then we had Mickey, who has pushed ahead into Warp 9 on 1,125 points, but sneaking in there in Warp 9 with a difference of 25 points, we have Captain Stu Plum on 1,150 points.
So our champion from last season is still has taken the lead.
Did you pull that out the bag, Mr. Plum?
Well, I forgot to say
But you're
earlier.
glad you stayed up.
Yeah, it's like, wow, that was worth staying up for.
You're usually Majram at like 9:30.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. If you want to know your Klingon dictionaries in the back of your script there, G. I can tell you that
You've been missing all the Klingon lessons.
in the season scores, we have Karen was our champion of season 1 on 3 points. So Karen was season 1 champion. Mickey was season 2 champion. Well done, Mickey. Stu Plum was season 3 champion. So you've had Karen, Mickey, Stu Plum, and now Stu Plum's taken that early advantage.
He has, but I don't
episode.
know. I think it could be Sean's season.
I think it could be.
I think we got. I mean, Sean wasn't with us for the first couple of seasons, and I think we got a contender for season 4.
I got to put Sean's
You
name.
might have a challenger, Stu Plum.
There we go. That's Sean. Sean, you're on the scoreboard now. So let's turn that 0 into a positive figure. There we go.
I thought Sean was going to get it today, actually.
I did.
For this episode.
It's leading most of the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Stu Plum just snuck in there. So get your
Stu Plum.
scores for the episode in chat, and G Star will average them, and Adam will add them to the.
I have to put mine in chat as well.
Yeah, you can have your say by putting it in chat, G.
Oh yeah. You're part of our collective now. Yeah, there's probably a bunch of other things. Last scene was really good, symbolizing the best of both worlds with looking out at the Earth. There were a few random sort of goofs and stuff in the sick bay things. Locutus was mixing his metaphors. He was saying us one moment and then they the next. Sorry, mixing his pronouns. They the next moment. There were some funny things with people's movements, like apparently they walked in and Data was missing, and then like Deanna jumps out of the way as if like one of the directing staff has told her to move out of the shot and things like that. So a couple of funnies went on in sick bay. But yeah, I mean, you know, it was the whole concept around this, you know, indefeatable opponent. What do you do? And you know, Pillar really liked the idea of bringing in something around ingenuity and human insight and making them vulnerable because of their collective. So it was pretty well written, I personally think.
This was the original model shot for the episode, and this was the CGI version that they made for the Blu-ray. There's a couple of ways of telling. It had the lines on the saucer sections escape hatches that wasn't on the original 6-foot model that this is supposed to represent. So you can see it's smooth. It's supposed to look like the 6-foot model because it's recreating that shot, but those lines were only on the 4-foot model. So they're mixing their model metaphors. And interestingly, or not interestingly, the whole scene of Riker on the bridge, of the battle bridge, talking to Locutus here, they couldn't find the footage, the original footage, when creating the Blu-ray version to recreate it. So it's actually a completely different take. They had the raw footage from a separate take. So they obviously did it multiple times.
Is that why the weird dubbing thing happens?
Yeah, so he says
Riker 1.
Riker
but
1.
His mouth says Riker
Something else.
0.
Yeah. Yeah, so the audio was from the original take, but the visuals was from a different take.
Very interesting.
And you know that guy sat in front of him there? Do you know who he is?
Grayson.
Gleason.
Oh, I was close.
And he apparently doesn't have all that illustrious career because he's also in a season 4 episode Future Imperfect where he's been demoted because he's a lieutenant junior grade rank here and ends up as an ensign in his follow-up appearance. So I don't know what he's done. He's been a naughty boy.
I wonder if he's a friend.
Naughty boy Gleason.
I wonder if he's a friend of Michael Piller or Bowl, because I think Future Imperfect is another one of their episodes.
Why would they demote him? I'd be wanting a promotion if I was their friend.
That's right. All right, so scores for the episode. Should we start? Should we start with the audience?
Yes.
Yeah. So when it comes to the scoring of the audience, I'm presuming you don't want to do point scores as in 0.25 or 0.50. You just want me to round up? Okay, so
or round down, depending
scientifically, well, yeah, you always round up or round down. So scientifically, the average from chat scores is 8.25. So rounding down, that's 8.
Good score from the audience. Right then, Mazma Bob.
It's tricky, you know.
It's tricky to rock the mic right on time. It's tricky.
I'm between 2 scores.
Yeah.
What do I do?
Give us a score. That'd be a good start.
Okay.
Ready?
Okay.
After 3. 1, 2, 3, go.
Boing.
I feel like it should have been a 10, but I just took it down a little notch.
It's not as good as the start.
I don't think part 2 is as good as part 1.
But I think it was still awesome. And I still think
awesome.
both together, they are still probably my favourite episode. I love them.
I don't know. Are they my favourite? I don't know. We'll find out, I guess.
That's not my favourite.
We all know that.
Does your favourite involve Picard playing a little...
It does.
I'm not saying.
I bet you'll come on for that episode, won't you?
I will.
Yeah.
Wait, we haven't had a cause and effect yet, have we?
No.
Oh, see, that's also one of my favourites.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting.
That might be a quick one to go through, though, from a notes
Really
point
like
of view.
Time's Arrow as well.
Ditto. Last one.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, there's loads of good episodes to come. Loads of them.
That's why we love it so much.
That's why we love it so much. But yeah, we got through both part 1 and part 2 in one night. I'm pretty pleased.
I probably did about half of my trivia and goose, but whatever.
Well,
time is pressing.
Time is pressing. But I suppose the question now is, what is it next week? Well, I don't know.
That is a good question. I can answer
Whilst
that
you're trying to find that out,
Oh,
I'll just say...
of course, it's family.
Oh, it's family, isn't it?
Of course.
What a numpty. Of course it is.
That's a great
Of this
episode.
story.
I should have
Great
known
episode.
that off the top. Who wants to see a trailer?
Yes, please.
Yeah, why not?
Oh, Gary, you were going to say something. Sorry.
Yeah, I was basically going to say, well, obviously, this is kind of me signing off because I wasn't around that much in season 3, and I just thought it's fair to the guys. So to sort of make it more of a proper, because I'm so busy still with the Vault bits and stuff. So, but I will probably pop along as a guest now and then when asked, or
are
when
always
it's
welcome.
I will be an audience watcher when I can and be part of that scoring process. But you guys are doing an amazing job with this show, and I think it's only just going to get better and better.
Better and better. And Sean, Mickey, Karen, anybody who wants to come in, step
Do
in
plan.
and join us, they're always very welcome.
Yeah,
Okay.
we keep meaning to get Andrew on. He is chomping at the bit.
Yeah, and Andrew, where
When
are
he's
you,
not on
Andrew?
a working week. He
Where
has
are you?
confirmed that he was working late
Oh,
tonight,
was he working?
which he has to do every few weeks. So
Sad.
Yeah, bless.
Okay, here's the trailer for next week's episode.
Next time on Star Trek The Next Generation, Picard faces his most difficult mission, the long journey home.
I seem to have made a rather disturbing discovery.
Family reunion takes a twisted turn,
What the devil happened to you up there?
turning brothers into bitter rivals.
I even enjoyed bullying you.
A tragic homecoming on Star Trek The Next Generation.
A little bit of rough and tumble.
A little bit rough. Where was his brother when his mum was having mental problems? Oh,
Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it.
Or something.
Another opportunity next week to talk about the Picard series. But yeah, no, it's a good episode next week. I'm quite looking forward to talking about that and dissecting it.
Night Stew Plum.
Mazram.
Stu Plum.
Stu Plum. Thank you to Mickey and Stu Plum and Sean for joining us this evening. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. I know it's been a long slog. And thank you to Smiler Rainbow for, I know you've had a hard day, and for your funny quips and getting those questions in. It's been great to go back through. Do you know what? I was worried the whole week that I wouldn't like Best of Both Worlds that much, because I've got this thing where the episodes I like, I'm not liking as much, but the episodes I thought were going to be boring, I'm actually enjoying. But no, Best of Both Worlds, I think, still as good as I remember it.
You're going to have to strap in for G's favourite episode, because I was reading today somebody who, when they were younger, they thought it was great. And now that they are older and they are father, they bawled their freaking eyes out.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be emotional.
I think you should film yourself watching it. I think that would be hilarious.
No one wants to see that.
I think we do.
Yeah.
I think G should as well. We should have a man cry.
Maybe we should watch it together and have a GoPro
Oh,
on it.
yeah. You can
Which
have
episode
like
are you talking about?
In a light.
In a
Oh,
light.
right, yeah.
You could have like a broy moment. That would be cute.
Yeah, or maybe let's not do that. G, when are we on the when are we on the Montezone next?
Not this Friday. Next Friday after, Friday the 27th.
Yeah, week
And
Friday.
We are going to be having a live reading.
No,
by
you're
Medium.
not. That's when we rebooked the Ocean View 4. LJ told me to.
Oh. Right. That's difficult.
Row.
Ruh-roh.
Okay.
Let's reconvene on that.
back to the drawing board on
let's
that
have
one.
a discussion off air about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that
Don't.
wasn't checked in with me.
Ah.
Yeah.
I did put it onto our group chat.
Oh dear.
after.
Oh
Yes,
dear.
to be
I don't
fair.
look at things like that.
Oh no. He accuses me of not looking at group chats and social media, not replying. He's
Ruh-roh.
fine one,
I
eh?
think is the word.
I have about 25 group chats per day that I need to look at.
That's true.
Oh well. There is a Monty Zone coming up. When? Not so sure. There is one. Maybe a Thursday. But who knows? But we'll see you next week for another great episode. Family. See you then. Good night. Cheers for joining.
Whoops. That's the one.
That's the one. Bye.